European #1 seed to make it to the semi-finals. They had to knock out Revival Esports to get here, and many other very strong teams along the way. They're facing some of the toughest and the top-ranked opponents in SEA, Infamous Stigma, today in the semi-finals in a fight to move on to that prestigious place in the finals for the chance to battle it out for VIPL. Some of the players on this Hunters roster, you'll have seen them if you've been watching.
Or either of them could be the jungler. It's very, it's very difficult to say at this moment.
Yeah, I would personally put Daenerys on Adagio being the support. We will have to see though. Fortress is still a very strong support hero though. In fact, I changed in my opinion. I think Fortress is going to be the support.
I actually prefer Fortress as a support rather than the Crystal Jungle. I think he's in a very good position right now. So we're seeing Sudons on Koshka. I do actually remember him playing Koshka before, and he's very, they're very aggressive. And I do like when we see very aggressive teams come up against each other because it's quite funny to see how they try and counter each other.
Now, I know that this might not make sense, but I believe Skye is countered pretty hard by a level 6 Fortress, right? So the Wolves, she can't use forward barrage. She can't use that to damage anyone because the Wolves are all in the way and they block that. However, if you can invade, I know the Skye isn't in the jungle right now, but if you can invade so hard that Fortress struggles to reach level 6, she is one of the best counters to a Fortress early game.
Yeah, and I think with a Koshka and an Arden on the team, they could do that very well. But against an Adagio Fortress, who could also be struggling if they do try to do this. So Adagio is going to be the jungler, and Clue is going to be the support here. Students and Dead are actually backing away, so it looks like they don't want to fight early, and it's probably a good thing because Clue from the lane has come down.
Yep, both laners have rotated down almost in unison. However, Clue did manage to shop in that small brief period, and it looks like Sudons and Deadall are addressing in here, but it's going to be 3-on-2. LMPK does activate the boots to join them.
Yes, Sudons jumping straight in, dealing a lot of damage there onto Daenerys. Daenerys looking like he could go down. Sudons is going to go down in response.
Yeah, it's like 1-for-1 at exactly the same time. Arden goes down to make it a 2-for-1, but it looks like LMPK could kite this out and possibly get one for himself here. There's a lot of damage down onto Clue, but Clue on Vox is chasing this one down. Another Sonic Zoom could finish off LMPK here. It's not an ace, but 3 kills going over in favor of Infamous. This is not a good start for Hunters.
We're going to have to call Clue and Clue something different. This is getting very confusing for me. I'm the Clue on C and the Clue on K.
Well, I was rooting for Kahlua to win Ice last time, so just so he could change his name.
Well, he obviously didn't take on your advice. So that was a pretty nice start there for Infamous Stigma. I think again we saw a bit of hesitancy coming out from Hunters.
Well, they weren't doing too badly. You saw the first kills of both teams going down at exactly the same time. However, Deaddoll had taken a lot of extra damage there. It looks like Adagio does manage to take down Koshka. Their aggression isn't quite working this game, and they need to win jungle with that Koshka.
Yeah, Deaddoll's taking a lot of damage. They're using the Vanguard to try and get to LMPK and out of range of Daenerys and Kahlua.
What I was saying in that last fight was Deaddoll took a lot of damage in the same time that it took both the first deaths to go down. So when it came around to switching targets onto the next, Deaddoll was easily the next one because he was already almost dead.
Yep. So LMPK, what do you think about that weapons guy pick?
Hey, it's going to be very, very strong. The build I expect to see coming out of him is going to be like a Thor Blade, double monocle, or double monocle and what's the third item? There's another one where you can go double monocle and oh gosh, I can't remember off the top of my head now, but it is extremely powerful to have 2 Tyrant's monocles behind that forward barrage.
Yep, because this guy's forward barrage now has crit potential, so getting any crit items on her is very powerful.
Yep, definitely. We will just have to see how she goes, but it looks like Sudons and Deadall were trying to be aggressive again, but they make it out with probably worse off than Infamous. Infamous are doing really well at holding their jungle right now. It's probably the benefit of having a Fortress as their support pick right now. They've just got more aggression potential than the invasion of Koshka, who only has the backup defensively.
Yep, it's looking pretty close right now. I'm seeing a bit of a skirmish coming out. Clue taking a lot of damage, but he does use a potion, and it's like nothing happened.
Well, Deaddoll is the worst off out of all of that. Sudons goes to rotate back of his jungle. He's not really going to be battle ready though. He's going to have to take a little trip home, I imagine, after clearing these backs, because staying at half health, he's going to take a lot of jungle aggression. Arden is coming down to join him right now though.
Yeah, he really needs to get that level 6. I think once he gets to that level 6, he'll be doing a lot more. You know, he kind of gets a little nice little power spike, especially if he gets that aftershock. But I think the problem is right now is that he's not getting that much money.
No, it's usually you would have more successful invasions from Akroshka. I mean, she's invading all the way through the jungle right now, onto Kahlua, on Fortress right now. It looks like they're going to try and steal that minion miner, but they haven't completely forced them away, and they're just allowing Adagio to get heal and
Yeah.
buff onto himself.
So Clue going down very fast, but unfortunately Dead Doll is caught in between all three members, and that's gonna be a 2-for-0 trade-off.
And Voxel taking down just to try and get a little bit of extra gold off those kills for himself as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see Hunters working a lot more, a lot harder to try and come back from this. They do have a very strong early game comp with that Koshka and the Arden on their team, but right now it's not coming off very successfully.
No, it like I said in the beginning, they have been quite inventive with their comp so far. However, what we've seen so far has just been a little bit stale with the meta from both teams. It's the highest played heroes, the most expected. There's been some targeted bans rather than um, meta bans right now as well, which really doesn't help with that.
Yep, so we, but you know what? We're actually seeing a Sky in the competition so far. We've rarely seen her, and Dead taking a little bit of damage again. The forward barrage, just kind of quite just missing Infamous Stigma there.
Well, look, I'm still unsure about LMPK's build. Does have another weapon blade, has finished the 6 sins, but it probably is going to be a Store Blade to begin with here.
Yep. So I think it's still quite close. We're kind of coming up to 6 minutes now, and there's a 1.5k gold difference.
Yep, and that has led to Kahlua on Fortress actually looking like he has the upper hand against Dead Doll on Arden here. Does have the Life Spring finished, whereas Arden only has the Oak Heart still. So maybe not the exact same fountain pickup time this time around. We're getting to that 6 minutes, and there are a few, another 30 seconds or so, and we might see the first fountain coming.
Yep. So clearly realizing he can finish those minions off as a support hero without Stormguard. But I think we're going to come to a bit of a stalemate right now. I don't think we should expect to see that much coming out from either of those teams in the next few minutes. Looks like, oh, I was wrong. We're seeing Hunter's Ace determined to engage on the Sidon's level 7. He does have his Yummy Catnip Frenzy already, but isn't going to be able to land that on anyone.
There comes the death from above, but it does miss all the members of the enemy team. Kahlua does get locked down by the Yummy Catnip Frenzy and dies for it, but it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. Probably not the best idea, especially with Daenerys coming in full health into this fight.
Yeah, I think it was a bad idea. I think they were just so desperate to pick up any kills at the moment. They were just going to dive under turret for that.
Yeah, Koshka taking a lot of turret aggro from it, and meanwhile, LMPK and Deadall are still quite low, just floating around the lane. I think it's quite risky for them to be sticking around, but they do need one of them should stay to hold off this minion wave.
Yep. So, what can Hunters do? So right now they're not exactly losing, but they're not exactly in the best position either. What should they be doing?
Well, it's the same as the last game. They had very close fights, but they just kept losing them by minuscule amounts. Even just like a small positioning error or a small item build differential, that's what was handing wins over to Infamous last time. But this time, it's simply picking fights at the wrong time again and again and again. They keep trying to invade. It's not been too successful for them. They did wait for LMPK to roam down this time, which was a much better idea. But to get out of this one, I don't know, because Fortress is now level 6. Fights are going to get much, much tougher for them if they allow Fox to farm up as well. With that Adagio, they're just going to be getting absolutely melted. I think they need a really good gauntlet from Arden. Wait until he hits level 6 or something, and try and get 1 or 2 pickoffs just to get them back into the swing of things gold-wise.
Yep, and the Wolves are released from Kahlua, and they're just going in. Look at that, the body block by the Wolves, but they're able to get out of range. And I don't think Vasudo jumps straight in there, just right into the middle of it all, and he's going to be getting stunned by that burst of judgment. He is the first to go down. Dead Doll looking very low, and LMPK probably going to be finished off by that Fortress, and that's going to be the ace. The first ace actually going towards Infamous Stigma. Is this the first ace?
Yep, and that was all thanks to Fountain. Arden, you just saw him pick up the Fountain just now. I mean, why would you fight if you could have bought that and you know the enemy team has one? It just guarantees a win over to them. They managed to disengage, but I think Sudon's was just far too aggressive, going for that Yummy Catnip Frenzy, and Adagio managed to just use his first judgment for free.
Yeah, I just jump in by. I think they were, they've managed to successfully fend off. They're just gonna back off. I think Sidon shouldn't have jumped in at that point. Um,
Definitely not. I mean, they hand over a turret, gold mine, and 3 kills. Look at the gold swing all of a sudden.
yeah.
3K in favor of Infamous.
Yep. And now hunters are going to have to like be a little more, and be a little more cautious. They've lost that front tower. They can't really engage fully, but they're going to be jumping straight in on that Kahlua. He's just going to, and the gauntlet comes down, but he reflex blocks that. What an amazing reflex block there.
Yep, I mean, that was just perfectly held on to. He could have used it immediately, could have panicked, but instead held on to it just the right amount of time. And they are trying to engage off the back of that. Here is Kahlua with the resonance bounce into, oh my god, the pulse.
Into the pulse.
No, the
But
pulse was his B, and then it was followed by the Sonic Zoom, sorry.
yes, Sky's now the only one left alive with dead Dawn Sidons. I think we saw some Sidons doing a lot of damage there onto the Vox. But the problem was the offensive was back up. It saved his life again.
Yeah, you just see Vox going down to like a quarter health every single time, followed by that fountain. So he is being saved by his support so often.
Maybe we should be. I think we should probably be seeing a little bit more kind of better target focus because right now what it does seem that hunters aren't focusing on the same person each time, and I think that's to their detriment because they're getting all 3 members of Infamous down quite low, but not enough to finish off anyone. And the wolves are released yet again. Hunters are on their run. They're going to back away to their turret there. The death from above trying to spot him, but look how fast Dead Doll went down and Sidon's caught in the middle again, and that's going to be another kill going down. LMPK now the only one left alive with 3 wolves and all 3 members of Infamous Stigma after him. And I don't know if they're going to be chasing for this ace, but it's not looking too great for LMPK so far, and he is just going to make it back into the base.
With a sliver of health, yeah, Dajou was being so aggressive there. That was really well played. Taking a little bit of turret aggro while Vox and Fortress decided to destroy the turret, which was definitely the right move.
Yep, and there's going to be taking that minion mine, so we're seeing a lot of aggression coming out from Infamous right now.
Here's the Infamous we were talking about at the beginning. 11 minutes in, and they've already cracked open the base of Hunters. There's only 2 Vayne turrets left.
Yep, and it looks like they might just be going for that gold mine again. I think it's probably not the best. It looks like they're just going to engage again. Look at how fast LMPK going down. He should not have been at the front there. Sidon's coming out with the stun on Daenerys, but it does not do anything in a 1v3 situation. And that's going to be another ace for Stigma.
Yep, and you saw the death from above catching like all 3 members of Infamous, but Weapon Sky, that's not going to do anything except stun them, which I think a couple of members blocked it.
Yep, and so another ace is a 17 Sue situation. Infamous Stigma are now 8k ahead in gold.
But they don't have the chance to take down any more turrets, simply because the death timers are so low at 11 minutes in. So, I mean, all of the members of Hunters are up already, but it would be to their detriment to try and invade again, like try and get their jungles the same way they did last time.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the farm for both teams, they're actually relatively similar on both sides. So it's not the farm that they're losing out on, it's just the team fights and the engages.
Yeah, LPK is a little bit behind. I think the forward barrage is just being wasted because of the wolves. There's not any crit behind it as well, which probably isn't the best idea.
Yep, we see Infamous Stigma kind of like creeping towards the Hunter's ace base, trying to finish off those last 2 turrets. They do have a strong minion wave with them, so I think we can expect a really exciting or really short team fight to be breaking anytime soon. They are kind of loitering behind that wall there. I'm not quite sure what their plan is at the moment. Do you?
No, they were just making a very nice tower of their names. Maybe that'll be like a highlights reel. I think just waiting on Hunters coming to them again. They know exactly how to engage as soon as they see any member of Hunters. And now that they've got them pushed into their base, they're just waiting on them getting confident enough to try and come and get that first jungle healer.
They see them, and the wolves are released, jumping straight in. The gauntlet from Dead Dog coming out, but LMPK is not going to leave, and Sidon just jumps straight in again. That death from above does nothing. Kahlua is running towards him, and now 2 of the wolves are still out. A forward barrage is doing nothing, and look how fast LMPK is going to go down. Dead Doll just makes it back into the base. No, he doesn't. He dies right on the steps of the base.
Oh my
that's
God.
heartbreaking for Dead Doll there. That last turret is going to go down, but we do see Sidon's coming out very soon. This could be their chance to pick up some kills because Kahlua are looking very, very low. Sidon's just jumping straight in. I don't know if he will be able to finish up the kills there. Kahlua just using that Sonic Zoom to get away, and the crystal goes down. And this is another game for Infamous Stigma that's going to be under 15 minutes.
Yep, I mean, that's a very impressive track record. They've dealt with one of the strongest opponents so far and will be securing their place into the finals. Congratulations Infamous for the first organization to make it through to the finals of this Tesseract
Yeah.
Esport and Tesseract League.
I'd also like to say congratulations to Hunter's Ace. They were the number 30 seed in their bracket, and I think they've done extraordinarily well. They've beaten at the number two and the number one seed both times in their matches, and they've shown such strong improvement. And I would expect to see some very strong performance for them in future leagues.
Yep. I mean, we'll take a small amount of time to go over the builds, then we'll have a short break and into the second game of the day, which will be the Infamous against Infamous, looking like an in-house scrim here, but it will be Spectre against Legion. Um, Obviously, you saw this game. Hunters did have two fountains, which should have worked in their favor, except with the silence from Vox, coupled with the attack of the pack from Fortress again, that was just ignored so much. I mean, Infamous seemed to know that Hunters weren't dealing with that very well, so managed to pick the Fortress up as their first choice. It was very good decision making to go with that. I know Fortress is a very strong pick, but it was all on Hunters to ban it out.